That's why he's here today.
Exactly. Okay, let me know if you guys can see my screen okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, today we're gonna pretty much focus on SEM, which stands for Search Engine Marketing. And it's my favorite product to talk about. So excited to be here today to talk to you guys about it. And like Anna said, if you guys have any questions as I go through this, please don't hesitate to reach out. We definitely want it to be more conversational instead of just me, giving a presentation. So any questions, feel free to chime in. So what is search engine marketing? Search engine marketing is the use of search engines to show ads to potential customers while they are actively searching for a product or service. And although there are a lot of different search engines out there, Bonneville, we only utilize Google for our search engine marketing. And you can see at the bottom what the percent of US search engine market share is for Google. Google takes up 92% of search engine market share. And that's pretty recent. They were usually around 80%, and Bing took around 10 to 15%. And they've really come in and dominated the entire search industry. And then the software that we use to run these ads on Google search engine is called Google Ads. It used to be called Google AdWords, so you might hear some people refer to it as Google AdWords, but they recently rebranded and it's simply called Google Ads. So what are Google Ads? Every second, there are 2.3 million searches performed on Google, and the majority of these search results include a Google ad. Not all of them, so keep that in mind. Not every single phrase that you do a search for on Google is going to include a Google ad, but most of them do. And so Google Ads appear when someone searches for a keyword or phrase that we or your client wants to bid on and that we choose beforehand. So Google Ads is an auction where hundreds of advertisers bid on these keywords and phrases, and how high you bid determines how high your ad is shown in the search results. So it's just a big auction where we say, hey, Google, we want to bid on these keywords, these phrases, and we want to show up for them. And then we, depending on how high we bid, will really determine, along with other factors, how high in the search results we show up for that keyword or phrase. So Google Ads can be an extremely effective way to drive relevant, qualified traffic to your client's website exactly when people are searching for the product or service that your client offers. Any questions so far about what search engine marketing is or what Google Ads are? Okay, great. So here's a little visual representation of what Google Ads look like. And this is what they look like on desktop and tablet. So Google Ads appear above the organic search results. So that's very important. That's definitely something that you can highlight with your clients. And to know that it's a Google ad, the word ad appears right next to that URL in the top left of the ad. And that's how you could differentiate a Google ad compared to an organic search result. Google Ads also appear at the bottom of the page and on the second page of search results. And like I said before, there are many factors that determine how high your ads show, mainly the bid, as well as the quality score, your click-through rate, other bid adjustments that we add internally. So there's a lot of factors that determine that, but that's all internal for us to really work on. And then a client only pays the cost per click when someone clicks on the ad. And that's why Google Ads or search engine marketing is sometimes referred to as cost per click or PPC marketing. The client literally pays just for the click that drives to the website, or actually you could either call their business directly. This is an example of one of our clients and some other features that appear in a Google ad. You can see that below the ad, there are different links that link to different pages of the website, and we manually create these for the ads. You can also show the address of the location in the ad, as well as the phone number. So Google Ads give you a lot of room to communicate a lot about your client's business. This is an example of a mobile ad. This is just a standard mobile ad. And again, you can tell it's an ad by that word ad next to the URL. Google Ads can also appear, and this is pretty recent, in Google Maps. So the ads that you see in Google Maps, again with the little word ad in there, that is a Google ad. So if you want to show that to your client and tell them, hey, you can actually show an ad in this map section, you could show them an example of what that looks like. Google Ads is how we would get them there. So a great tool to drive calls if your client is interested in increasing their call volume is called call-only ads. So unlike this mobile ad that just shows information or the business name in the headline, this ad actually has the phone number in the headline. So if someone wants to call, they can click on that phone and call the business directly. They can also click on and visit the website, which you can see that below the ad, as well as directions to the location. So it gives the consumer a lot of great opportunity to interact with the ad or the business as they would want to interact with it, whether it's visiting the website, getting directions, or calling them directly. So where do Google Ads fall in the marketing funnel? Google Ads is going to be near the bottom of the funnel, as close to bottom of the funnel really as any marketing tactic. So it's right there in that decision and action piece of the funnel, because people are literally searching to take action at that time. So if you are looking to really drive those calls or conversions on your client's website, Google Ads is going to be one of the most effective tools to do that. And then, like Anna said, bringing in some of those other awareness tactics, such as programmatic, YouTube, and filling the funnel with those awareness, and then making sure that you are running Google Ads so that when someone does search for that product or service, that you're right there to make sure you capitalize on that. So some important facts about Google Ads is if your client is not currently running Google Ads and they want more customers, they should start running Google Ads immediately. They are missing out on one of the most effective tools to increase their customer base. And most of the time, Google Ads drives the highest return on ad spend, as it leads to the most form fills or phone calls than any other digital marketing channel. So it's really going to drive the most return on ad spend compared to other marketing channels that they might be doing, whether it's even outside of digital. And then how do you know if Google Ads is a good fit for your client? I always recommend someone just does a search for that product or service, not necessarily the brand name, because we want to see if they're showing up for when people are searching for that product or that business type, not when they're searching for the brand name. So keep that in mind. And when you do a search, if you want to make sure that it is an ad, make sure that you see that ad word in the ad. Any questions before I move on to the next slide?
This is great. Mo.
Yeah, of course. So one product that Google recently released is called local service ads. Now, local service ads are different from Google ads, and I don't want to include this to really confuse anyone, but if you do a search and you see these little boxes of ads, these are actually called local service ads, and they're more geared for service-related industries. And we really just recommend, if a client wants these, that they run them themselves. It's very easy. Google seriously just pulls in the business information, and the client tells Google how many leads a week they want. And then if someone calls from these ads, it'll count as a lead. They're more towards people that are price shopping compared to people that are looking for a long-term company to fulfill their needs. So you can keep that in mind. But you can see that how local service ads look compared to Google ads. Google ads take up a lot more real estate and provide a lot more opportunity for a client to communicate more about the benefits of their business. So what is a conversion? A conversion is the term for the action that someone takes on a website after clicking on the ad. So there are two main types of conversions: phone calls, whether that's a website call or a call from that mobile call only ad, or if they fill out a form on the website, that could be a contact form, a lead form, if they're subscribing to an email list, any of those forms. Those are going to be the two main conversion types that we are going to track with their Google Ads campaign. And conversions are the most important metric to focus on when reporting the success of your marketing efforts to your clients. You can highlight clicks, you can highlight impressions, but really all the client cares about is how many leads did you drive? And that's what conversions are. You can pretty much think of conversions as equal to leads. And when we optimize the Google Ads campaigns, we use conversions to determine when and where to allocate budgets, with the goal to drive the most conversions for the least amount of ad spend. So we want to drive the most leads for the least amount of cost to get the most bang for your clients' dollars when they're doing Google Ads. I will include this link in the chat, but I wanted to let you guys know that we do have an internal website resource that we are continuously adding articles and information about some of our products and services. So if you do have questions or you're curious about some of our different tactics that you are able to sell to your clients, this is a great resource. And below the articles, there's actually information about our specific products. As you can see, we have LinkedIn coming soon. We have website design and landing page design coming soon. And the other products are what we currently offer. And you can see right there, there's search engine marketing. So if you click on that, you can find some more information about what we talked about today. If you do have a client that is interested in Google Ads, I recommend you download our Google Ads onboarding doc from the same website. And that does have a lot of good information on what we need from the client to get started with Google Ads. One thing we'll need is to add a container tag to their website so that we can actually track those form fills and calls and report on them and optimize the account accordingly. So this onboarding doc is very important if you have a client that's interested in getting started with Google Ads. We also have a YouTube onboarding doc as well, which has some similar information in there. Okay, so that wraps up the search engine marketing training. Does anyone have any questions?
No, that was outstanding.
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, Bo, this is awesome. I love
the
the resource area where they know exactly what to ask their clients.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'll include that website link in the chat. So if anyone ever has a question or wants to know if Google Ads is a great product for their client, again, I recommend you do some searches just on Google, see what shows up. If other companies are advertising for that product or service, then Google Ads is something that would be effective for them to use. Google won't show ads unless it's an effective place, an effective keyword phrase to actually show up for. And I think there is a limit of at least 10 advertisers that have to be bidding on keyword phrases for Google to actually show ads for those phrases. So again, keep that in mind that not every phrase works for Google Ads, but most of the clients that you guys are in contact with, Google Ads would be something that they would benefit from if they aren't currently using it.
Hey, Bo, this is Karen and local sales manager here. We used to do this. If you have a client like a local pizza chain, by example, and Domino's is doing ads, right? All the major pizza places, national chains do it. They are paying a high price in the auction field to get those keywords for pizza delivery. What do we do that would differentiate ourselves in that case with plumbers, where there's a lot of plumbers competing for AdWords, pizza places, any kind of business where there's a lot of competition?
Yeah, great question. So the nice thing with Google Ads is most of the time the cost per click is not too high. Even if you have some big companies that are bidding on that space, the spot that actually drives the best return on investment is not the first space, but the second position. It's actually 2.5. And the reason why that's the most effective is because you get about the same amount of web traffic, but you pay half or a third of the cost per click that it takes to be in the first spot. So if we can get them to show up at least in the top of the search results page, and sometimes even at the bottom, again, they're only paying when someone actually clicks on the ad. So we don't care if they're showing up and someone's not clicking on it because they're not paying. So if we have a budget, we will get enough people to click on that ad to utilize that budget.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. The other question that I have is, I've been told in the past that the client can actually hear the messages left for them through the phone click to call.
So that's separate. That's using a separate software. That's a call tracking software. If they wanted to use a unique phone number to record or track the calls, they would have to utilize that. Google Ads does not record or track any of that, actually information that is on the call. That's a separate service. That's call tracking software.
Okay.
We're able to track when someone does call, but that's not recorded. So they will not be able to listen to it unless we add the call tracking software on top.
That could be a good feature though, because we can also hear the calls, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what's nice about that is we can hear the kind of questions people are asking, and also guide them on the response that they're giving.
Exactly. It's a great internal resource for training if calls are important and they want to listen to how their internal teams are speaking on the phone, or if what they're saying. That's a great tool. If we recommend that more for not necessarily their marketing efforts, but for their internal abilities to answer the phone and speak clearly about their business or their product.
Right. And that's important to us because so many businesses say, well, this campaign wasn't working.
Right.
And
Yep.
so then we can have a deeper understanding of how it all goes on their end.
Yep. That's a great resource. Definitely.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Great questions. Anyone else? Anyone have any clients that they think might be a good client for Google Ads and just aren't sure?
I do think we all have clients that could benefit from this. The key point that Bo said is that the second and third line can help them with their marketing at a lower cost per click than the first line. A lot of digital agencies will pitch the first line being the most important. Therefore, clients pay a lot of money. If we go and offer our services, we can talk to them with what we learned today about the cost savings that perhaps we can provide.
Definitely.
Definitely. That's a solid point. And also one thing that I do want to tell you is, Bo is working with our Denver hub here on multiple SEM campaigns, and Bo will jump on the call with you. He can in live in real time make changes that'll affect the results. It's incredible how he, communicates with the client. So definitely reach out to him, ask him questions because he's pretty incredible.
Thanks, Tyler.
One more thing for you guys to remember is how you're receiving reporting. Make sure you're asking your clients if they have a current SEM partner. We've been able to steal revenue away from competitors